We're starting off. Can we get a better... Oh, here we go. That's quite a nice camera angle, isn't it? That's a good one. You okay? I'm not getting any OBS issues, so we're off. Nance is strongly into first place in the first corner with Bellinger behind him. Soares and Purcell still being quite close. We've got this fight around here with the Bentley of... Is that Anderson's Bentley? That is Anderson's Bentley. So he hasn't made up any places. He's just holding on firmly. And the whole front of the field seems like pretty solid here, pretty situated. Looking a bit further back, we don't have many issues to speak of. Ware is still at the front of the GT4 field, coming into the third corner as we see the Porsche spinning off at the end of our screen. Big trailer guys coming down here as we have a little bit of a fight there in the background between that green Ferrari and the Merc. Fernandez managing just to keep ahead, but the Merc really is keeping on the pressure. It doesn't want to let him past at all, and gets the goal into the chicane. See if these guys stay real close together. We can actually see the Chevy there behind the Bentley. So that's the Umaz, who is now in front of the GT4 field, who is sticking right to the back of the GT3, so doing pretty well so far. Up at the front, we've still got the same order, I believe. Looking still pretty same. We can see, oh, there's a overtake going there. Diggs going for it on Anderson. A nice move made there by the horrible Chrome McLaren, but he gets a bit of a wiggle on the outside and cannot keep it. That is upsetting as we move into the second lap. We have a BMW looking to make a move on it, but not quite doing it. The move is made there by the Bentley, and Baker follows Diggs through there. Bentley losing 2 places, gets lost on the exit and might lose a 3rd place around here. There's a bit of a touch there between Dumitrash and Anderson, but they keep it for now. Hutchison starting to make his way back through the back of this GT field as Umas is still ahead, but with Ware following him down in this Mercedes. I don't have too many big fights in the GT4 field, so we'll be back to the GT fields. Ooh, really close there between Baker and Diggs. Baker and Diggs really keeping it together. Peshkal looking like he still wants to get past that Lexus. Takes a lot of curb on the exit, second exit of that chicane. Lovely luminescent Bentley. Sticking close to Baker's tail. Dumitrash has not followed the other 2 McLarens through. He's fallen off a bit. And into the chicane here, Bentley looks like he's trying to make a dive, but it's a bit ambitious, and we have a Bimmer round. Getting past on past on past, and oh, goes for a bit of a spin turn. Left it quite late. On it, he could have moved a lot earlier there. He was trying to wait for people to get past, but he really should have just got on, because you're on the right hand side of the road when you get on, so you can get onto the road pretty safely, and then you can move on from there. So now deep back in the pack, promoting Diggs up to 4th and leaving our first 3 quite open here. So it's now really up to Baker or Anderson to make a move, or Diggs to really start reeling in our front 3. Another Bentley sticking on the back of the car in front of him, Brito to Fernandez. Bentley's looking aggressive, looking good this race. And we have Ware really close on to the end of the Chevy in the front end of GT4. Not making any sort of move into the first chicane. I don't know this track really well enough to have a good idea where moves would be made, unfortunately. So we're just going to have to keep having a little look-see around a few of these battles. Basically hopping between the 2 Bentleys and the Aston. Oh no, it's a Merc. I'm used to Ware being an Astons, I think. Going for a dive down into the hairpin. Is he going to make it? He's got a really nice little tight line on there, but the tightness of his line is going to sacrifice a little bit of exit speed, and now the Camaro is on the inside for this last left-hander. Really pulling over there. That was... ooh. That's a bit silly from the Camaro. No need to do that. Absolutely no need to do that. I don't think Ware did anything wrong there. The Camaro pulled over while there was still someone there. And essentially, I think takes himself off. You know, I'm not one of the stewards. But you know, I watch enough racing that I think that was entirely the Camaro's fault. And he's thrown himself back down towards the back of this GT4 field. Don't count these two. This is the KTM field. This is a separate field. Back up the front, it looks like, unfortunately, Baker has not been able to keep his second with Diggs. I actually don't know how Slipstream exactly works in this game. He would be, well, now he would be out of it probably in something like iRacing from what I've heard. But most games it's sort of 1 second to, you know, 1.2, 1.5 seconds. Both of them actually going wide at that hairpin. It's going to let the Mercedes through of Legales on the Bentley. And that's upsetting for Anderson, because Anderson was doing so well at keeping in touch with the car in front of him. Really wanted to see some more Bentley moves coming in this race. Brito still keeping up on Fernandez, so we still could see one of them going. Into the first corner, the Bentley does make a move. Gets side by side with the Merc. That was close. That, from our angle there, that almost looked like they touched, but I think the Bentley just got a little bit squirrely on exit. Had a tiny bit of a drift going on there. I think Anderson might be slightly faster than his positions are suggesting, but just not consistent enough. He's making these small little mistakes. He's clearly really pushing hard with how much he's taking on each of these corners. We have had a change in the GT4 field as well that I hadn't noticed, but Bloomfield in the Aston Martin has managed to get past Ware in the Mercedes, which is a pretty mighty move, as Ware is a nice and quick driver from the ACCSS series. Sticking nice and close here. Doesn't look like Ware thinks that this is an overtaking opportunity, because he never seems to go for it. And from what we've seen so far, it looks like the overtaking opportunity, as we see, unfortunately, Brito going over the grass in the background there. Do you know what? Watching races like this that you're a part in and you have a nightmare in does make you feel a bit better, because this is lap 5, so I haven't even spun yet. Like, I haven't even spun once yet, and we've seen a lot of these faster drivers in the GT field going off. Still not sure how much I would be up with them in terms of speed, but it does make you feel good to know that just because these people finish so far ahead of you doesn't mean that they're all super fast aliens or anything. Consistency matters, boys. Consistency matters. Coming out of the last chicane are the first two GT4 boys. Where is Clayton compared to Nance as well? Clayton is coming into the second chicane, and there he is, the premonition. So the back of the GT4 field is just going to start getting lapped by Nance. From what I remember, Nance very, very quick, very efficient, very good when he passed me at least. So probably doing pretty well here. And Legales has come up with quite a turn of form here later in this race, because he's really just like hooked onto the back of Baker after passing Anderson. Seems like it wasn't just consistency that got him past here, and he really does deserve to be here on pace with these boys. Gonna have to start sort of assuming when people are in the chicane and having a little look to see if anything can be made here. And it does look like something was made at some point, because where's ahead of Bloomfield again? It looks like they're doing this at the front of the lap as well, maybe even like first corner, which surprises me. I wouldn't have thought that there could be a good overtaking opportunity there, but it seems I might be wrong. Umans as well, after criticising his move that got him spun around and sent to the back, it's only fair to also acknowledge the excellent work he's done in coming back up the field. He was right at the back a couple laps ago and is making up 2 places already, passing... no, he's making up 1 place. It's confused me because Yilmaz is down there. My bad. But still, making up a place pretty good as we jump up to the front of the field as well with some of these GT3s. Oh, we've had enough. Who is that? Actually, that is fine. That is Clayton. It's a back marker. It's fine. As the GT3s roll past him into this first corner, and that is Diggs in his shiny chrome McLaren that we can see ahead. The Gala is really putting the pressure on Baker here in the number 68 McLaren. I don't know why. Like, I think that using the numbers so much comes from like entry sheets and stuff in real racing, and also it makes sense in sort of racing where you have multiple people on there. So hold on, where am I now? I'm just, yeah, I am that car ahead. So we're gonna get to see here the front of the pack is coming through to lap the second of the GT4s. Gala's still sticking nice onto the back of that McLaren. Falling a little off in the first sector there actually. But we've got a nice little strong field here, and excitingly we actually have a fight for first in GT4 still, which is really nice to see. But as the front of the GT4s come up to the end of the lap, the front of the GT3s are coming up to about halfway through the lap, I think. So on their way towards lapping, they've already passed me and Clayton in the KTM at the back of the field. Where's Yilmaz? Has Yilmaz been passed yet? Yilmaz has not been passed. Yilmaz is still back up with gold knits. We're right at the front of the... Ooh, what is that? Oh, that is me. I've clicked on me just in order to see me go wide while trying to avoid some people lapping me. God damn it, why do I do this to myself? Back in that corner, we're going to see Legales. Unfortunately, if we keep watching Legales, Baker and Anderson, I think they're going to pass me at the chicane, or at the hairpin next lap when I do that again. So when we get round to that point, I might want to hit down on this fight and see how Ware and Blumfield are doing. Youmans as well is catching them up, doing an incredible job here. Really need to shout out his speed. After being in it from the lead, he is really making his way back towards these guys at the front. Oh no, that's fine, there's me. I haven't gone wide, I've just been nicely overtaken by them at the front. So it's safe to look at some of these lovely GT3s here, having this wonderful fight. And is there actually something going on up here, right? We have got, I believe that is Bellinger right in front of Saurus. So is Saurus catching, or is that a back marker? No, that is him. That is the McLaren right in front of him. So these guys getting real close to each other, which is pretty cool to see. Diggs, unfortunately, clearly not got the pace of these front three guys, and is not falling off. Nance as well. Absolutely incredible out there. You can see 6 seconds ahead. That is mega. That is absolutely mega. And as he's coming up to cross the lap as well, you're going to see the time go blank as he goes up to overtake. We have here Nance going in for a few more overtakes here. I'm going to keep an eye on people overtaking Yilmaz because that's why. Because from looking at the chat, I felt like there might have been some incidents of such. Now, Nance has such a huge advantage that he could have perhaps got out ahead, but he hasn't. He's now down in third. The leader has been absolutely rocked by a back marker there. Really unfortunate situation for him. Definitely was not given the room there. And Suarez is now strongly in the lead. It even looks like, Bellinger, sorry, and it looks like Suarez made a mistake there and fell back a little bit. Coming up to the back of the GT4 here. Gonna have to keep on this a little bit to see if anything happens, and jump back to these fights every now and again to make sure as well. First GT4 there, the first back marker has been taken by our leader, our new leader. Gonna go into the first chicane. Pretty clean there. But that back marker is going to get in the way of the Lexus a little bit. Not super obstruction, but definitely just slowed him down a little bit there. And now this is actually going to give us a little bit of excitement, because not only do we have this nice pack of threes here, who could always make something happen, but we now have Nance, who is super fast, behind the two drivers who he was faster than. So this is this could lead to some fun action. Nance looking for it in the first chicane. We haven't seen, I don't think, anyone make a successful move around there. GT4 field staying as it is for now. Ullman's not quite managing to pick up any pace now. He's wrecked the rest of the GT4 field, but just can't quite catch up to the leaders out there in the distance, unfortunately. Oh, and we have a car across the gravel. Is that Baker? That is Baker. So Baker has made a mistake and has dropped behind Anderson, who has taken Legales as well, and he spins. So we have our McLaren out of here. And Anderson is so that he jumps past Diggs as well there. So Diggs slowing down towards the hairpin as well. What has happened here? Everything has suddenly gone crazy, and we're seeing people fall off left, right, and centre. Again, kind of makes me a little bit happier, because this is about the time in the race where I started spinning. We got a spun Porsche there as well, who actually takes out the Mercedes coming onto the track. That is unfortunate. And Legales now, a big slam on his nose. Is he actually gonna? Is he going across the grass to get into the pits, or is he just struggling to? No, he's just struggling to control his car on the rejoin. Unlucky. That takes Legales out of this fight. But we now have Diggs behind Anderson. Baker has fallen back a bit. But Fernandez is now not too far away from Diggs, Brito having fallen off the back of him, unfortunately, earlier on in the race. Nance still stuck behind Soares. Not quite able to get off, and it looks like, unfortunately, Blumfield has fallen off of Ware, so unless anything crazy happens to the GT4 field, we're not going to see anything too crazy happen, as we see the GT3 McLaren in the lead, coming up to pass this GT4 McLaren, who stays nice and to the left. I hate the braking zones for the two different cars are so different in such an annoying way. We're gonna keep on with the GT4 as we see these other cars just nicely slide past him, staying off the racing line. Very nice of him. Good job. Let's Nance and Soares get on with their battle. How are times in the GT4 at Zolder? So, I can probably check. Actually, I can just check by looking at these guys' best laps. So if you want to see what the time is for a bad guy like me, it's around the 140s. Goldnitz is his best lap time is just it's in the low 139s actually. Moving up, we've got high 137s. High 137s, mid 137s, mid 137s. So for the good guys, mid 137 it seems is what you want to be going for. Is that? No, that's not. That's a back marker getting overtaken. We've actually got an interesting situation here where here we see our first two GT4 cars, and then behind there we see our last GT4 car and some of our GT3 cars. I actually can't tell which ones right now. Was it the front? I think it was the front of the pack. Yeah, there it is, because there's our GT4 McLaren. Soares has been taken by Nance. Nance, in the chaos of all of that moving and shaking, got past him. There's some more GT4s in the background. That's excellent camera angle. Thank you, game. Yeah, thank you, Stock. I'm around there as well. Me and Clayton are both stuck in the 140s, so You won't be the only one there. I'll have tried to get more consistently on trying to dip into 139 for tomorrow's race, hopefully, but it's a task. I'm not loving this circuit. So we have there's me spun. Ignore that. We have Bellinger out in the lead, who, if this is right, now has a huge gap to Saurus, which is crazy because Nance is still behind Saurus. And Nance was so fast compared to everyone else at the beginning of this race. Absolute tragedy that he's been sent by here. And he actually makes a mistake as well. That's crazy. So consistent. He's actually going to get taken by Anderson now, who's made a great comeback at the end of this race. It seems like it wasn't just me having trouble with... Oh, that is not an overtake. Oh, I did see Diggs talk about that in chat. Oh, that is not it, my friend. Diggs said he missed his braking and he tried to skip the course in order to avoid him, but it didn't quite go as well as he was hoping. But what I was saying before, our poor Bentley boy, who it looks like has... yeah, there he is, still hovering around here. Before he got slightly wrecked there, he seems to be the only person in this race who's managed to keep on his tyres. Like, he's the only one who hasn't started having horrible problems everywhere else. Me, and luckily for me to see, even people as fast as Nance have clearly been having trouble later in this race with their tyres. And we see the checkered flag out there. So Nance got back up in second, I believe. No, he didn't. He didn't even get back in second. Unlucky. Nance finishes third. We have Bellinger first, Sowers, Nance. Fernandez in the Ferrari. Actually, Fernandez made a crazy little sort of comeback there, because he was sort of just stuck in the midfield for ages in this race. But with Diggs, Anderson, I think Baker and Hutchinson all having, Legales as well, all having terrible accidents and getting thrown off, he actually managed to come through the field pretty well here.